Cabela's, Sportsman's, Academy. Everybody likes to complicate it.
Here we go. The three amigos.
What's up, Lit Rippers? Welcome back to B-Deuce Fishing. Today I want to tell y'all a little bit about how not to overcomplicate your soft plastics. Let's go. Hey, and if y'all stick around to the end, I'm going to share a little secret about what I always do to my soft plastics to catch fish, but you got to hang around to the end. I know we've all been there. You've been in the Sportsman's. You've been in Cabela's. You've been in Bass Pro's. Aisles and aisles of soft plastics to choose from. I'm guilty of it. I have 1,000. Y'all just seen me dump them out. Different actions, colors, styles. I mean, let's dive a little bit into it about how to keep it simple. I only fish my home lakes. So it's only the really advice I'm giving you is from my region of the country. And I mean, I don't want to lose any of y'all, but I feel like this can translate to any part of the country and really any confidence bait. Around here on my home lakes, I normally fish either a speed worm, 6-inch, or a cutter R from Strike King. There's a few other things that I like. Sometimes I'll throw a ribbon tail. That's where I started at, but to me, the speed worm gets me more bites. So all I really do, our water's stained around here all the time. Like I have one place I go fishing on Lake Russell that, because it's on the river, I mean, it's usually crystal clear. I mean, I can look down and see my stumps in the water like 15, 20 feet. But I only go there when, you know, I want to fish that clear water and get after them spots mostly. It's real rocky over there and I like the way the spots fight. So back to the soft plastics. I ain't really had a bunch of luck throwing crawls around here. I mean, I have had fish on biffle bug, on excite bait, the crawls, you know. I mean, in the same colors we're about to talk about. But basically what it boils down to is this. If the water's dirty, throw a black in something. I mean, I don't care if it's a black and blue, black and purple, black and red. A little theory that we was gonna put through a hypothesis. Me, my son Mason, and my little nephew Bryce, we all go out on the boat today and we all fish the same setup. Black and blue, red and blue, purple and blue. And y'all about to see what happened. I started out with black and blue. Normally the black and purple is my jam. It was Bryce's first time fishing a Texas rig, so I said, look man, I'm gonna give you my worm. Mason's normally on the black and red anyway. I mean, he catches plenty of fish. So, this is what I started out with. I don't know if y'all can see that real good. Listen. And that is just a Zoom speed worm. Y'all see that tail? In the black and blue, this is actually black with a blue sapphire, but y'all gonna see it don't really matter too much to me anyway. All right. Now, I started out fishing black and red ribbon tails because that's what the guy that carried me, you know, told me to throw. As I've experimented through the years, this right here is turning into my all-time confidence bait. I mean, I have caught all my big fish. This is just a color in the same speed worm, but it's called Blacklight. I don't know if y'all can see that or not, but really wish I could get that sun in that. What? It's just black with a little bit of purple flake, and for some reason, around here, the northwestern side of South Carolina, they can't stand it. Bryce was fishing that one. And on the Mason. Maymay's worm.
Oh.
You got one?
I might.
Yes, let's go! Get in here! Keep it tight, keep it tight. You gonna boat flip it or what? Same deal, red and black speed worm. Red and black speed worm. I got one more version of these cutter tails that I really like, and I got a pack right here, so I'm gonna show them to you. Basically though, it's the same action. This is a cutter tail, a cut R worm by Strike King. And when you pull this thing across the water, I'm telling y'all right now, this is my favorite color in it for clear water. And that is hard candy. Basically, it's just green pumpkin with a little bit of green and purple flake in it. I mean, they eat that thing like candy. I see why they named it that, especially in clear water. About the only other color I'll throw in speed worm is on a clear day, I'll switch to something like this. This is actually a California 420, but I mean, watermelon red flake, to me it don't matter. Just something a little more natural in the water. There ain't but a couple things I really think you need to worry about when you're fishing. Is the action and the color. See, like, you get your traditional ribbon tail, like that. I don't know if y'all can see that, but it's got a totally different action than what this speed worm does. This speed worm does a whole lot better job mimicking a bait fish or a crawl or something, because when it's falling, he gets that little tail pop going on. Now, I mean, we have the same thing. We got the same thing in the bugs, man. Like, it don't matter if I'm throwing a worm. Like, I believe that if you're throwing a soft plastic, all that really matters is dark or natural. That's all that really matters. If you got dirty stained water, throw a dark one. Pick up some kind of black. You will not regret it. Shoot, I mean, we got straight black. I mean, they all get bit in the dirty water. But when you got something clear, pick up something a little more natural. That's all there is to it. Got this Reaction Innovations sweet watermelon red sweet beaver right here, but if I'm fishing down there where the water's clear on Savannah, I'm throwing that. I mean, I'm not really a big fan. Like, most time when I use a creature bait or something of this nature, I'm using it as a trailer. I'm using a creature bait 90% of the time. Like, I normally don't rig them up Texas rigs. For some reason around here in the northwestern part of South Carolina, I mean, we don't have as much luck on a creature bait. Like, I mean, yeah, you will get bit, but I'll go out there with that speed worm tied on and I'll wear them out. Now, y'all explain that to me. So we took these boys out on the lake, and I'm putting a couple of these fish in the way. I kind of felt bad for Mason again, because he fished the back of the boat and really didn't, I don't know, he just a teenager or what, but he didn't really get none of his fish on film. But are there any more fish biting?
Yeah, I did take him the day off.
Yep, there's one biting. He is a monster.
Get it in, B.
Nah, it ain't that big.
That's a decent fish. It's got the length on him.
Look at that thing, Bryce. There's one other thing I wanted to add. When you're fishing these worms, and let's see, I might not have one out here in this pile. Here we go. When you're fishing these worms and it comes real hot in the summer. All right, I don't got no giant speed worms out here, but it's called an Ultra Vibe speed worm. And when it's in them real hot dog days of summer and I'm fishing structure, one thing I will do besides the norm, and this is, if you're keeping count, this is only the third thing. Like, most of the time it's just water clarity is making me switch from my colors. You know, that's 90% of the time. Other than that, I'm throwing it unless I feel like it ain't getting bit, and I'll switch to a different action worm just to see. And you know, when I'm throwing, I never throw a stick bait on a Texas rig or anything like that. Most of the time when I'm throwing a stick bait, it's on a wacky rig or a Nico rig, something like that. But in the summertime, them hot dog days of summer, you know that you're not gonna get bit as much up shallow flipping cover. But if you'll switch to a bigger worm like that old monster, you will get some bigger bites. Like I've caught some pretty big monsters in the summer flipping wood and upsizing. But another thing I like to do when I upsize, since the worm's bigger, I'll match my sinker to the size of the worm. Like I can't stand it. Like I know sometimes, I mean, even I'll wind up with an 1/8 inch on this big old cutter R worm from Rage's tail. Don't really like the way it looks to me. When I can throw that 3/16 on that one side or that 1/4 on that other, man, I just feel like it just works out. So I like to make sure that my sinker matches, if I can. Like I'm not trying to tell y'all to do that all the time, because, you know, fishing is just a game of what the fish want that day. You know, and the best ones, the best people that fish, and I ain't claiming to be one of them at all, because, you know, I ain't even really been at this but about 5 years, like steady. But it's a game. What do the fish want that day, and can you give it to them? But a lot of times when you fish in a Texas rig like that, you can change your sinker. Like I know that you change your sinker for the wind so you can make down contact, but on some days, it's just about that fall. Like you can take off a 3/16 ounce from, you know, for example, you can take a 3/16 ounce off, for example, and put a 1/4 ounce on it and start getting bit where you wasn't getting bit before, because the fish just want something moving faster or slower. All right, so we're gonna recap this, y'all. I don't really care. I don't want to make it complicated. I want everybody to make it super simple, and I wanted to touch on this as we were going into the spawn, pre-spawn, you know, the summer months, like post-spawn. I wanted everybody to be able to just go out there, and I don't care if you pick up a stick bait, Yum makes one, if you pick up a brush hog, whatever your confidence bait is, tie that thing on, check your water clarity. You know, if you got clear water, put something natural on it. If you got stained or dirty water, put something black on. You won't regret it. But just get out there and start flipping the bank. This is gonna be the best fishing of the year, and we upon it. I mean, when I was out there fishing yesterday, you'll see this little clip right here. I was flipping underneath the boardwalk, the walks to the docks. So now when they on those walkways to the docks, like, it's here. I mean, the first round of them's moving up, y'all. Like, let's go get after it. You throw up in that little boathouse, Mason?
Yeah.
Oh, here we go, y'all. Got him. Hey, that's a nice fish. That's a nice fish.
Hi, B. Camera's still recording, by the way.
Is it really?
Yeah. 3:15.
They don't call me Lip Ripper for nothing.
Mason, did you see what I just did? Hey, hey.
Hey, thanks for coming to work today, bud.
What is that like?
All right, guys, told y'all if y'all stuck around to the end, I was gonna give y'all just a little tiny secret trick on how I'm gonna catch more fish this spring. It works for me. I'm gonna show it to y'all. Bam. If you ain't got some of that in your boat and you flipping a rubber plastic, I feel sorry for you, because this increases my bites probably tenfold, and I'm gonna show you what to do. My wife's gonna hate me because I just got some of this on me, probably the boat too. Take your soft plastic, whatever you're gonna throw, put that tail down in there, and just barely dip the tail of that thing. I don't know if y'all can see that or not, but when you just barely kick the tail of that thing, where the little thing flutters in the water and get that little bit of that scent get you. I don't know if it's because it gets your scent off of it or because it makes the action more erratic or more visible in the water. But you dip that little tail of that thing, I promise you won't regret that either, man. Listen.
Nah, I'm caught on. No, it's a fish.
You got a fish?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Get him.
Watch the GoPro.
Dude, this is a beast.
That's the same fish. Is that the same fish?
Oh yeah. Hold on, I gotta take a picture of this.
Mr. Bassy, bite my hook. I'll put you back. We just wanna look.
Hey. Oh yeah, babe.
Got him.
Good job, B.
Yeah, get your ass in the boat, son. The purple worm never fails. If y'all enjoying these little videos, could y'all do me a big favor and smack that subscribe button over there, please? Y'all don't realize what it does for my channel. I'll keep making this content, and y'all check that video out if y'all want to learn a little bit more about fishing. I promise you, we're gonna keep it real.